McBride Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brode. So the Knicks take game one, and I want to set the record straight before we get into Joel Embiid's health, before we touch on the rebounding, because that was abysmal. For the Knicks fans that are screaming Knicks in 4, and for the Sixers fans that say now it's all over, have you watched playoff basketball before? What you can't let happen is one game sway you so much that you think everything is over because of one outcome. Now, where there's real concern is if you think Joel Embiid isn't going to be able to play through whatever he's dealing with. Then, if that's where you're at, I could get on board if you think that they're going to fail, because without him, they don't have a chance, and I am concerned from that aspect. So maybe that sounds hypocritical, but I'm just telling you, if Joel Embiid finds something and can actually make jump shots and be a force and be fantastic, and maybe that happens on Monday, I'm not ruling it out. I'm scared, though, because his jump shots were short, and he clearly wasn't rebounding and jumping well. He just looked so off when he returned from that disastrous look when the camera was shooting from over top of him, and his eyes were wide open, and he was blinking. It almost felt like he knew something was up, and he remembers that feeling. But let's take a listen here to the ESPN broadcast, because Lisa Salters gave us a little nugget on the sidelines right as the second half started. There was 11:46 remaining in the third quarter, and Lisa Salters hit us with this.
Hey, Mike. Well, as he was coming out of the locker room, Nick Nurse said he did not know what Joel Embiid's status was. As we can see, he's out here on the court right now. But I wanted to share something that Joel said to me on Wednesday before that game with the Heat. He told me that he was still trying to get back to trusting his surgically repaired left knee, that he was freaked out when he tweaked it 8 days ago against Orlando. Said he's got to realize that when something like that happens, and it will, like it did tonight, that he's going to feel something in the knee. And he says it's okay, the knee is fine, but he said he's still convincing himself that he can fully trust himself on the floor, and that's where the mental part of it comes in.
Well, that's not good. That's not good. But the reason I play that is maybe he felt something and his face was all concerned and he was lost and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say. He wasn't even talking to the trainers. He was just staring into the abyss. And maybe that was him reminding himself as he was on the floor that you're going to feel certain things, but that doesn't mean that it's all lost. I don't know. I'm looking for some sort of optimism here that he could turn this around, because if this is the version of Joel Embiid that we get, well, then you're not winning this series. Then Knicks fans can have a bunch of fun and start running through the streets because they will advance. You need Joel Embiid, right? Whenever we discuss if Batum this, if Buddy Hield that, Buddy Hield stinks. My God, when was the last time he did something relevant? So no matter what, Tyrese Maxey, Kyle Lowry, those two in the third quarter definitely made an impact. And what a surprise run. I really didn't anticipate it, but it was a hell of a run for them to outscore the Knicks the way they did in that third frame after only scoring 12 points in the second quarter. But that made sense because everything was unraveling and totally running right through their grasps when Embiid went. They didn't know what to do when Embiid left. They had no idea. I mean, the Knicks just had the surge. The building was going bananas. Of course, that they're going to lose a lot of identity when that guy's not available on the floor. So to their credit, they did have a bounce back in the third, but none of that is relevant if Joel Embiid is going to be a shell of himself, because he's not right. And there's a difference between playing through injury and not being right. He's going to be playing through injury the moment we knew that he needed some time off in the regular season. There was no world where he was coming back and being 90%, 95%, 100% back. It was always going to be with limitations. But I need those limitations to be stretched out more than what we saw tonight, or you have zero chance. In the fourth quarter, I'm watching 5 Sixers jerseys surrounding Mitchell Robinson, and this guy's getting a couple rebounds and a big-time slam. It's disgraceful. I'm watching Josh Hart are. One of them was a tougher jumper, but the other one's wide open. OG, wide open, and miscommunication on the defense. That's terrible. It's terrible stuff. And don't even get me started on what Nick Nurse was doing at the end when nobody fouled. I don't care that they probably weren't going to win the game. That's not what it was about. It's a 7-game series. I want you to make a damn statement. Listen, fellas, you might have taken game 1, but we play again on Monday night, and this is going to be war. We are going to take you down to the wire. You have to earn this puppy with all your free throws. This whole, hey, we surrender, we throw up the white flag, we're not going to give it our all. That's no good. That's no good. Now, maybe the team wasn't doing the right thing. Maybe Nick Nurse said that we should foul, then all the players didn't, which would be another problem, that there's miscommunication going on. But what a joke. Your bench got nothing. 7 points from your bench, while McBride's punch off the bench was absolutely insane. I thought you actually did a pretty good job of holding Jalen Brunson to a reasonable number. He shot 8 of 26. The problem is you allowed 23 offensive rebounds. 23! 23! One guy on their team had 7! How in the world is that possible? And that's the tall task that Nick Nurse has to figure out in this coaching matchup on how to help out his team, because that's a strength of the Knicks. So what can we do schematically to put the Sixers in a better position to help out? Because they're a hungry team on the glass, and they will contribute to second chance points. You need to limit the second chance points. So if you hold one of their best stars to 8 of 26, but their offensive possessions have life, and they keep swinging the ball around after a big O rebound, the 8 of 26 is irrelevant because they're getting success in other ways. So you have to clean it up. Joel can't jump right now, so who else is going to help out? In theory, I would like Tobias Harris to help out, but that guy is so lost, it's unexplainable. The corner 3 to start the game off was essentially it. From there, dumb fouls, stupid fouls, 1,000 feet away from your own basket. Stupid. I mean, he plays stupid basketball. Stupid. In what world, man? When he's picking up fouls, I was starting to get excited. And I've been the one saying that there might be a game where Tobias actually does something positive this series. Well, game 1, big fat negative. Game 1, big fat red X next to Tobias's name. It's a disgrace, man. Like, you're too good of a basketball player to play this poorly. You're playing like Furkan Korkmaz. And believe it or not, Tobias Harris is 6 times the player Furkan Korkmaz is. So for him to be this out of touch with the game is so ridiculous to me. So ridiculous to me. Out-rebounded 55 to 33. But yeah, no, I mean, the bigger story, I know everyone's going to go to rebounding. For me, it's Joel Embiid's health, because you don't stand a chance without Joel Embiid. So Nick Nurse spoke to the media and said that Embiid will be assessed post-game as usual, but he did not provide much information other than that. Nurse says, I don't think so, when asked if there was any thought to shutting Embiid down with the constant scares and that Embiid continues to want to play and play through these issues. Of course he does. I'm not questioning Joel Embiid the person. I'm not questioning Joel Embiid the athlete. I'm not questioning the competitor. You know, I even see Sixers fans taking shots at him that you shouldn't try to make that dunk. Yes, you should. That's what makes special, is the ability to be creative on the fly, throw the ball up, take a slant. The landing, I mean, if he would have dunked, the landing, regardless of off the glass or not, passing it off the glass, him jumping and landing is what happens. When you're playing the game like this at an NBA playoff level, you're going to land on your foot, you're going to jump up in the air, you're going to try and dunk it. He's even going for loose balls at the end. The dude's tough as nails. You should see my comments section on Twitter, which you can follow me on Twitter at Broads81. And by the way, we're incorporating Broads Media back on Twitter after Elon Musk suspended my account about a year ago, so at Broads Media _ if you want to throw a follow over there, I greatly appreciate it. Embiid's soft, Embiid's a loser. I mean, it sucks. There's guys that you can look through the history of the NBA and say one of the most individual skilled players the league has seen but the NBA gods never let them fulfill out their ceiling because they never stayed healthy. And that seems to be where we're at here with Joel Embiid. I mean, I'm not questioning his toughness, his heart, his want to. The dude's out there trying to rip the ball out of the hands of any Knick on the floor with blood coming from his knee brace after having surgery, having a scare in Orlando, having a scare here tonight. Scare. Yet I want to be out there. I want to be out there. He's not soft. He's not this. He's not that. Now, maybe someone in the Sixers organization, I remember dating back to the regular season, and it was that West Coast swing. It was Portland. It was Golden State. I mean, you pay people a lot of money from a franchise level to make decisions, so the athletes that always want to go out there, they're not the end-all be-all. As much of a superstar as you are, you pay medical people this. I'm sorry, Embiid. I got to look out for you. You would like for that to happen at times, but it is what it is. Joel Embiid is not being made available to the media, according to the Sixers team official. Well, that tells me something. Now, Kevin Cooney says, a reminder, Embiid didn't talk to the media after the Orlando game scare, and he didn't play game 82. Huh. Here we go. Ay. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel good. I opened up the show saying don't rule the Sixers out and the series isn't over because I've been through this emotional swing a lot. I love playoff basketball, but one thing that irritates me like no other, and national media does this, the sway of thoughts after one game, right? When it's 1-0, it's, all right, like you can react and not go overboard. Can the Sixers win game 2? If Joel's healthy, yes. Now, I don't know if that's the big caveat here, is Joel Embiid healthy? I'm going with no, so just throw everything out in the trash that I said to start the show about the season and the series and having a chance. Without Joel Embiid, they don't have a chance. They do not have a chance. They don't have a chance, and it didn't look good. He did not look right. He could not elevate. Did you see the jump shot where it hits the front rim? It hits the front iron. He elevated about a half of an inch off the ground. Now, he was fighting his way to the free throw line and earning some free throws, but that's not going to cut it. To win the series, we need more from a health standpoint, and if he's not, well, you're toast. You're toast. You're just absolutely toast. Unbelievable. All right. We'll react. We'll let you react on the Anytime Hotline. Let's kick it into gear.
Bros, the Sixers tried. Embiid had a good game. Maxey had a good game. But this loss, Embiid? I can't help but say, is on the general manager, Daryl Morey.
Huh?
Because I look at what the Sixers have on their roster, and then I look at what the Knicks have on their roster. Miles McBride cooked us. Josh Hart cooked us. Mitchell Robinson is something that the Sixers have never, ever had. And they even have Bogdanovich, who they got at the trade deadline. The Sixers had 7 bench points tonight. That's not going to cut it in the playoffs. It was a good game. Like, I'm not going to completely trash them for that. But, lots to work on. The series isn't over. I thought that they had a good effort, and it's encouraging to see Embiid play well. But can we please get some quality Sixers play when Embiid goes on the bench in the playoffs? It's been 7 years. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I'm not super down and out like I can imagine some callers are probably going to be, but that's just what I think of the game. Got to get ready for game 2 and continue to play your hearts out.
All right, so one thing I like is you're not ruling them out. The problem, there's this big, huge black cloud right now. This is all predicated off of where Joel Embiid is. And right now I'm feeling so down about it that I'm pretty much going to shift my tone and my feelings as we progress through this show, because him not speaking, it's telling. It's damning. There's something wrong right now, and not that I really even needed to not hear from Joel Embiid to know this. I watched the basketball game. I saw his face. It ain't right. It's not right. It's not right. And it's not right to the point where I don't even think he can go out there and manage. I don't even think he could go out there and just glide his way through at 60-something%. You know what that does when he kind of goes through the motion? Not his fault, but when you're going through the motions at 60%, if he is to play game 2 and not be where he needs to be, it sucks the life out of the team because everybody knows we got to dump the ball off to Embiid, but it's probably not what we should be doing. Nope. It ain't right. The vibes are not right. So I don't know if necessarily Embiid had a good game. Did he have a bad game? I don't know. He got hurt. So I can't label it anything. It's inconclusive. But where I disagree with you is Daryl Morey. This loss goes on Daryl Morey. This loss goes on the health of Joel Embiid. With the healthy Joel Embiid, I think they win this game. The reason this game turned is because he left. He went down. The morale went out of whack. The team had no idea what to do anymore. They showed good fight back. They really did lock back in, and Lowry, awesome. And Tyrese Maxey with his speed going to the rim, a couple of finishes, a couple up and unders, some really impressive stuff to keep them invested and involved. But I don't think the reason I know the bench didn't score. The bench wasn't good. Batum wasn't good. But in theory, if I'm going into an NBA playoff series and Buddy Hield is coming off my bench, if Batum is coming off my bench, I'm good. Dude, Josh Hart has, I saw his stat. He hasn't had more than 3 threes. I want to find it exactly so I don't butcher it. So I'm just putting it in perspective of the difference in bench. Josh Hart didn't make more than 3-pointers in a game all season. All season. So you're giving the love to the Knicks bench and role players, and there's reasons to. McBride's no joke. Mitchell Robinson brings some pop in there. But Josh Hart, what he did today, they got the Batum version of what we got a couple days ago. Josh Hart doesn't do this, but sometimes guys step up. And yeah, the bench didn't today, but are you going to be saying the same thing about Josh Hart if he goes 0 for 5 from 3 in game 2? If he doesn't hit 3 threes all game like he did all year long? He hasn't done it all year long. He does it one game. And now the Knicks have this powerful elite bench. You know, it's just the natural flow of these playoff games when the unknown happens, when it's the unlikely hero happens. So I like your overall approach. I do. Not ruling them out as long as Joel Embiid's okay, which he's not going to be okay. But I disagree with this is on Morey. I think this is more on, number one, it's on Embiid's health. Number 2, then it's on the rebounds. That's what I even with this lack of production from the bench, if you cleaned up your rebounds, you win this game. And that might actually affect some bench players doing better because maybe some of those rebounds happen with some of them out there and whatever. But I'm just saying those were the 2 important pieces to this loss in my eyes. All right, what's next?
Yo, bros. I am honestly still feeling very confident after the Sixers drop game 1. I already think we're going to win Monday night. And here, I'll tell you why.
Hit me.
The Knicks played their absolute most perfect game possible today against the Sixers. Sixers just won 9 straight games. They were due for a loss. Our guys did not really match their effort, but the Knicks could not miss a shot in the fourth quarter, especially in the final 5 minutes. I mean, Josh Hart made that 3-pointer with Kyle Lowry all up in his grill, and he drains it. What are you going to do?
That one hurt.
Right. The Knicks cannot play that perfect again. They got every second chance opportunity.
That's what they
I
do.
believe they outscored the Sixers like 29-8 on second chance opportunities, which is ridiculous. And a lot of that has to do with effort. I really do think so. And our effort needs to be much better in game 2, which I think it probably will be. But I really don't see us losing game 2 because the Knicks played their A++ game today. And I just don't see that happening. Again, I really don't. And I do see this game going 6 or 7 games. But I'm still very confident. I really am. Now, if we lose game 2, my confidence is definitely going to take a tumble for sure. But I'm not worried. I'm really not. I don't think they can guard Embiid. I really don't. I thought Embiid took some dumb shots overall. I think his shot selection and passing needs to be better. But yeah, I'm just not that worried right now.
I wish I was as confident as you, which I sound silly. I do, how I started the show. The Embiid stuff scares me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not giving. Oh, this Embiid thing is killing me. The health of Embiid is killing me because I want to answer your call right now with the mindset of Embiid's fine. Okay, mindset, Embiid's fine. I agree with you. I'm not worried about game 2. I think they can rebound. Now, I say rebound as in play a better game and rebound as a team and respond in game 2. They better be actually physically rebounding better as well or else they're screwed. But even if they go down 0-2 and they go home with the healthy Embiid with 2 home games that tied up 2-2, I'm not even panicking down 0-2 because the series doesn't begin until a road team wins. So it's not over. You can go home and tie it up rather quickly and that wouldn't scare me. But the whole the only thing that happened is Embiid took some poor shot. Well, why? Why? In your eyes, needs to pass better and needs to be more effective shooting. Why? Just a bad night? Didn't have the touch? Or deeper issues? Or there's an issue with the knee? This is how the Knicks play. Tom Thibodeau, they have this nasty snarl to them. They play with piss and vinegar. They work their ass off. They're scrappy. They get second chance opportunities. That's what they do. They did it on a night where Brunson didn't even take over. So they won a game where their top dog wasn't very effective. Credit Nick Nurse. I saw a couple of different guys thrown in his direction early on. Kelly Oubre and his athleticism and his length, you kind of seen him go through a whole different kind of idea there with the defense. So I'm throwing a couple of different looks. But at the end of the day, there will be a night where Jalen Brunson cooks for more than 8 of 26. Unless they really have something figured out schematically that will stop him and fool him. I actually thought the first 5 minutes, Brunson looked jittery. And that makes sense. Adrenaline's kicking. You're at home. The place was loud. You're just getting that first wave of 5, 6, 7 minute playoff basketball out of your body, and you get that out of your experience, and then the game settles in. But dude, the Sixers scored 12 points in the second quarter. They were outscored 33-12. Responded really well, outscoring them 36-21 in that third frame. But that second quarter, it was just horrible. Felt like my eyes were bleeding. What a world we live in.
We can't catch a break. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's a W. This is really what is pissing me off. I just called in 20 minutes ago about the Sixers and how they just epically just gave up, clearly. And then I go to watch the ninth for the Phillies.
My bad. I clicked on the Phillies call. I apologize. I'll go to your Sixers call. My bad.
Gentleman's sweep. We'll get one in Philly, but this is over. I mean, I don't care, and I don't want the optimism from anybody. I don't care. You don't close out. Why is it always, does it seem to me, every single fucking playoff run that we go on, there's always some no-name dudes like Deuce McBride.
Well, he's legit.
And Josh Hart smoking you. It doesn't matter if it was Brett Brown, fucking Doc Rivers, or Nick Nurse. It's always. And I don't care. Don't say it's just basketball. No. These guys suck for a reason. These guys, they're applauding them for doing this for a reason because it's not supposed to happen. Okay? That and the offensive boards, this is not good. Knicks are going to run us out. I told you before, this was serious, and I don't think anybody's going to listen. See you, Rhodes.
So, McBride has been a legitimate weapon for them all year. He does shoot 41% from three, jacking up 4 threes a night. So, I mean, he does show legitimate bang and legitimate pop off your bench. He plays under 20 minutes a night. So when he averages 8 points a game, it's from a certain role. I mean, you play 20 minutes a night. You're scoring 8 points a game. Under 20 minutes he averages. This is what he does. I mean, they're not Josh Hart, not nobodies. They're real NBA players. Now, McBride hasn't been in the league as long as Josh Hart has, but that doesn't mean that they're nobodies, right? I mean, nobodies would be if Shake Milton came in and cooked you. I saw Shake Milton on the bench. That dude don't play. You see what I'm saying? This guy used to be one of your biggest players that you would go to off the bench. He'd be your second primary ball handler. When we go to Kyle Lowry, we used to go to Shake Milton instead. So think about the difference there. Miles McBride has been in the league for a total of 3 years, but this is the first year where he's taken a really big leap. 2 years ago, or last year, I should say, he played 12 minutes a night. So he took a big jump up this season, for whatever it's worth. But if you paid attention to the Knicks, if you thought about an X factor, someone who could bring that spunk, you would have pointed out McBride as a guy. It's almost as if Buddy Hield, and I'm not telling you he's Buddy Hield, but I'm just trying to compare it to you. Or for you. If Buddy Hield had a playoff game in Game 2 where he had 5 threes, but he hasn't really made a bunch of shots in Game 1 and he's been quiet for a little bit, do you go, some nobody, Buddy Hield, he's that guy who can give you punch off the bench. And some nights he can't. Some nights he can, but he could be that X factor that brings you on a little ride in the third quarter when you desperately need it. I personally don't think of it the same as you do, but I'm feeling closer to that energy than not, which I hate. I hate. Oh, why? Why did Embiid have to take a fall like that? I'm looking over to my left right here. I have the Boston Bruins playing the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round of the playoffs. And if you know anything about this series, the Maple Leafs, the Bruins are their kryptonite. They can never beat the Bruins. Bruins are up 3-0 right now. And I can only imagine the pain and suffering, the here we go again feeling that Toronto has. And I feel that right now, too. Because when am I ever going to get to experience Joel Embiid healthy at this time of the year? He actually took a shot to the face when someone closed out at him at the top of the key when he was looking to take a three-pointer. And I'm thinking, are we going to have to go get a mask? Are we going to go have to find the Phantom of the Opera, man, the black mask, when Markelle Fultz elbowed him, when Pascal Siakam elbows him? Like, why? Why does it always have to be something? Why can't I just enjoy basketball and the prime of Joel Embiid's career without something ruining it, without something dragging me down in this big pool of pain? That's all I ask. It's all I ask. All right, here's Booney of NBC Sports Philadelphia. Embiid went 2 for 11 from the floor in the second half. All right. But he also points out that Brunson went 3 of 12, which one guy healthy, one guy not healthy. For whatever it's worth. For whatever it's worth. I wonder if Tobias Harris, though. See you later, bud. I wonder if he goes to the bench. It just doesn't work. Ay, ay, ay.
Hey, Birds. Frustrating loss today. Definitely a lot of encouraging signs. And to be honest, like, that game didn't even feel like it was a game 1 of a 2-7 series. That game almost felt like it was a game 3 or a game 4 of a 2-7 series where we were the favorite. I mean, it did not feel like we were the underdog. That sort of felt, honestly, like game 4 in Washington in 2021, where, Embiid got hurt and the team fought and Maxey almost reeled us to a victory, but the Wizards just ended up hitting every tough shot down the stretch, and it was just deflating. But I'm not saying the Knicks are the Wizards. I mean, the Knicks are a good team, but I think, if we are playing our game, I mean, this is a very tough team to beat. And let's hope, come back for game 2 on Monday, play our game, and hopefully get the W.
A lot of optimism in these calls, and I am surprised by that. I will be honest with you. I'm surprised. I'm proud. But the one time I won it, or the one time I was kind of calling for it early, I shifted big time. Because I don't think Joel Embiid's right. So all of this is for nothing. And by the way, the Knicks, I know you made it very clear you don't think the Knicks are the Wizards. The Knicks are like 30 times better than that Washington Wizards team you're referencing. It was a good playoff game, energy-wise, physicality-wise. What you expect this series to be, a fake 7 seed versus a 2 seed that probably is more of a 3 or 4 seed, but you guys happen to match up due to circumstances. It was good. Like that felt like a second round. To me, I don't know how it felt like to anybody else. That felt like a second-round matchup, game 1. When both teams beat their easy first-round matchups. When you face Jared Dudley and the Brooklyn Nets. Then you face a second-round team. The second-round team, all right, the New York Knicks. That felt like a game 1 feel-out. The problem is, I don't know what to do with the feel-out because your best player's hurt. Not talking to anybody after the game. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.